Hey sweet friends, I am glad to be back in the kitchen tonight, so I wanted to hop on here with you. I don't really have anything new that I am making tonight. I just was feeling like I wanted one of my good comfort meals, and y'all know one of my favorites is spaghetti. Alright, so I am going to make and y'all know I make it a ton of different ways. I've made so many different spaghettis on here, y'all, I can't even count. But this one that I'm going to do tonight, I'm going to do a homemade sauce, but it's not my more extravagant homemade sauce. It is just a very simple and easy, quick sauce. I don't know if I've showed it on here before. I probably have, but anyway, if you want to hang in here with me, I am going to show you, and it is quick, it is simple, it is ingredients that you already have in your cabinet, and you've got a quick and easy meat sauce for your spaghetti, or if you want to do it with, I've used this for rigatoni, I've used it for penne, oh goodness, whatever you want it for, okay? So, right here in my skillet, I have about, I don't know if it's maybe 1 1/4 to 1.5 pounds of ground chuck, probably closer to 1.5 pounds. And then right here, I have some veggies chopped up. I'm gonna make this a chunky sauce because I like it that way. So I have some onions, some bell peppers, and some mushrooms. I have my canned stuff over here. I have all of our seasonings already measured out. I will tell y'all about those here in just a second once we get all this cooked down. But anyway, I just want to let y'all know, not really anything new, but it may be new to you depending on how long you've been hanging out with me. But I'd love you to come on in here with me and we're going to cook this up. Anytime I have not had any of just my good home cooked comforting meals, I'm always ready to have one, and tonight this just sounded like it was going to hit the spot, and I think it will. So anyway, I've already got my pasta boiled up. You know, I like to do that ahead of time. So what I did was I just put me some water in this little skillet right here, which is a very deep dish skillet. I boiled it up. I've already got it drained. I've got it ready to go. So the only thing we have to do now is to just cook up our sauce. So anyway, y'all, I'm going to let this meat cook down, and we're going to see how, this is a ground chuck, so we may not have to drain it very much, but I'm sure we'll have to drain it just a little bit. We'll see about that, and then I'll come back and we will get everything in here to get our sauce put together. It is so good, so easy. Oh yeah, and I was talking, and I know some of you, a lot of you probably already know, but just in case you don't, I want to let you know what I seasoned my ground beef with while it was cooking. It was some onion powder, garlic powder, and then I love this little garlic and herb seasoning blend here because it's salt free, and so I put a little bit of that in there. But if I didn't have this, I'd just do my onion powder, garlic powder, okay? So I just want to show y'all that. Just for anyone that may be wondering what I seasoned the beef with. Okay, so I drained the grease off from our ground beef here, or our ground chuck. And then right here, like I said, I have some onions, some green and yellow bell pepper, and some mushrooms. All of this is optional. I just wanted this to be a chunky sauce. So you can leave this out or add in whatever you would like. Let's get that mixed in really good. I'm just going to turn it down and just kind of let those saute down a little bit. Now, if I had taken my ground beef out of the skillet and drained it, I probably would have just put these in here for a minute by themselves. But I didn't have that much grease, so I just did the paper towel method. And so instead of messing up another dish, I'm just going to toss them in there and just let them cook down just like that, okay? So just that way. And while that's doing that, I've got some garlic over here. I'm going to get that chopped up, and I'm going to come back and we're going to toss that in. Alright y'all, our veggies have been cooking for a little bit. Now I'm going to add in some fresh garlic. I have about 5 cloves here that I just sliced up, chopped up. I don't do it really fine because I'm fine with the bigger chunks, but now you can chop yours up really fine if you want to, or you can use your refrigerator garlic or minced garlic, whatever you want to do, okay? So I'm going to let that cook down for just a minute, and then whenever I come back, we're going to start getting our cans of stuff in here and our seasonings and get this on its way. Okay, y'all, our garlic has cooked for a few minutes. Now we are going to add in a 6-ounce can of tomato paste. Okay, tomato paste. I have opened up both ends because I have started doing that now because it definitely does work. And I was glad once I finally started doing it. Let me go ahead and pull this one off. It does work so well. See that? It just pushes the whole thing out. Look at it. And then you just have this clean little can here. You just have this little bit here left on the ends, which is so super easy to go ahead and just get off. Okay. There is our 6 ounces of tomato paste. Alright, you want to mix that down and just kind of let that cook in there really good. That's going to be the base of our sauce, basically. Alright, y'all. So what you want to do is, once you put your tomato paste in like this, you want to let this cook for about 5 minutes. Alright, so I'm going to turn y'all off. I don't want y'all to just have to keep sitting here watching me get all this mixed up. You want to cook it for about 5 minutes, and I'll be back. Alright, y'all, our tomato paste has cooked for about 5 minutes. Now you want to do half a cup of white wine. Now, if you don't want to do the white wine, you can do just some beef broth. That would work just fine. But the wine cooks out of it, of course. We're going to crank this up, and we're going to let all of that cook out, but it gives the sauce a delicious flavor. But I understand if that's not what you want to do. This is what I'm using. It is just a Chardonnay white wine. Okay, half a cup. Alright, let me set this aside over here. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is let this cook for about 5 minutes, and then I'll come back and we'll add the rest of our stuff. Okay, y'all. Let's go ahead and add our seasoning in before we even add our other canned goods in. That way they can kind of be cooking in, and I can kind of be mixing them around while I tell y'all about it. Okay, so I have my little list right here. Alright, so here is our seasoning blend that I've already measured out. Now I'm going to just get that in there, and then we're going to talk about it, okay? Turn this down just a little bit. Okay, so in that little bowl there, I have 1 1/4 teaspoon of ground oregano. Alright, 1 1/4 teaspoon of ground thyme, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, half teaspoon black pepper, 1/4 teaspoon crushed red pepper, 1 bay leaf, which I've got that over here. And it's not 1 bay leaf, I've got pieces because that's all I have. But that's it, y'all. This is so super easy. Things that you have in your cabinet, this sauce will be so good. Once we get our other stuff in here, I'm telling you, it is so good. I will run back over it just real quick, but it is so super easy. 1 1/4 teaspoon ground oregano, 1 1/4 teaspoon ground thyme, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, half teaspoon of black pepper, 1/4 teaspoon of crushed red pepper, 1 bay leaf. Okay, that's it. That is our sauce for this, y'all. Okay, So now what we are going, or not our sauce, our seasoning, I'm sorry. Now I have a 14.5 ounce can of whole tomatoes. Y'all know I like to do the whole. Now you can do the diced, or you can do just all sauce if you don't want any chunky tomato in yours. You can do whatever canned tomato based stuff that you like. Okay, I like to do the whole tomatoes, and then I kind of crush them up myself a little bit, kind of like this. I take this little meat thing here and I kind of just crush them up a little bit. I like the texture of them better this way. But now you can definitely just do a can of diced tomatoes, or just all sauce, all crushed, whatever you like. Okay, that is all completely optional, but this works really well and it crushes them up in no time. Okay, and then we're going to add in a 28 ounce can of crushed tomatoes. So you can add just the crushed, you can do whatever you want, as long as you just have around about this same amount of ounces in here for that seasoning amount, and it will be delicious. I have no doubt whatsoever. It's just whatever you like. Okay, see, look at that. Don't that look good? All right, and so now I have a little bit of our reserved pasta water that I saved from whenever I boiled our pasta earlier. This is 1 cup. Let's see. Let's start with about half a cup in here. And we're going to let this come up to a good simmer, and we're just going to see where it's at. And we may add the other half a cup of this. I don't know yet. We'll just see. But so far, that's where we're at. This is our sauce. You cannot get more simple and easier than this. Look at this. Perfect. Things in your cabinet, things, ingredients, seasonings that you already have, and you have a delicious little meat sauce for your spaghetti, your rigatoni, your penne pasta, whatever you want to make with it. It is absolutely perfect. The only other thing, I'm going to turn you off, but the only other thing that I'm going to do is run me a little bit of water in each of these cans just to get that little bit out, and I'm going to toss that back in here. But that's not going to change it very much. I'm going to do that. I'm going to pop a lid on this, let this simmer for a little bit, and I'll be back in a little bit and we'll see where we're at. Okay, one of the last things that I like to add to any of my homemade sauces is a little bit of dried parsley. I don't have any fresh, so I'm doing dried. I'm going to do a good tablespoon or so. Sprinkle that in after it's been cooking for a little bit. Mix that around. Now this smells so good, and I did end up adding that other half a cup of pasta liquid, and of course that is optional. It's just all about how thick or thin you want your pasta sauce to be. I like mine to be on a thinner side, so I went on ahead and added the whole cup. But you add however much you want. You don't even have to add any if you don't want to. All right, and then the other thing I like to do is a little bit of grated parm. Okay, and I like to do a good half a cup or so of this. So as you can see here, I just like to put it all over the top. And that just kind of finishes it off. Okay. Alright, I'm going to pop the lid back on it for just a second, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to plate this up. Hey y'all, okay, this is all so hot. I'm going to have to fix it up and let it cool for a second. But here's our pasta. I put just a little bit in my skillet here and kind of fried it up. I know I've showed y'all this method before, but I just put it in here with a little bit of olive oil and butter, and I season it with a little bit of oregano, parsley, garlic salt, and then at the end I put on a little bit of parm, and I just toss it around in the skillet, and it just really gives the pasta a very different texture, and I really love it. Let's see here. I think you can probably tell by looking at it. Maybe it was already done. I had already boiled it to al dente. You don't ever want to overcook your pasta. And then I just popped it in the skillet and done that little deal. But anyway, so here's our sauce. And now I'm just going to get a little bit of that. And put that over our pasta. Put like that right there. And of course, I've got to do extra parm. And I'm just going to let this sit here, y'all, and cool for just a little bit. And clean up. And I will be back in a second, and we will do the taste test. Okay, y'all, let's try our spaghetti with our little simple and easy homemade sauce. Oh my gosh. I know this is going to be so good. Y'all know it's one of my favorites. I absolutely love it. Okay. Oh, I forgot to get me a spoon. You know, you can take your spaghetti and twirl it up on a spoon, and it makes it so much easier. I forgot to get one. I love it. I love spaghetti sauce like this because as you can see, it's not real saucy. It's like meaty, it's chunky, it has all the good stuff in there, but it's not like loaded with just a sauce texture. And I love that. Some of you may like more of the sauce, and I get that. And so if you do, that's where you would want to come in and do more of more tomato sauce, add more tomato sauce and things like that into it. I like it like this. Delicious. This is the perfect spaghetti for me. Just not being real saucy, having all of the chunks of stuff and the flavoring and everything in it. This is how I love it. But I know everybody has their own way, so you make it your own way. I just wanted to share with you that little seasoning mixture that will give you a very good, delicious sauce. Just using things that you already have at home. It's so simple, so easy. Perfect, y'all. Absolutely perfect. All right, y'all. I'm gonna let y'all go. Glad to be back in the kitchen tonight. I've got several of my fun little traditional holiday dishes that I want to share with you. My Christmas things. I've got my cheese balls that I want to do again. I know we've done them one time before, but I'm going to be making them, so I will definitely just video as I make them. But anyway, I hope y'all are doing well. I hope y'all have a good night, and I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.